going to continue on page Reish Kaf Bet, Amud Bet, page 222b. We were talking about yesterday what happens when we go to sleep. The Ruach leaves the body, the soul is very vulnerable. It goes into the heart with its powers, and from the fear that the Klippa, the Chitzonim, is going to get attached to it. And we kind of left off here. I don't want to elaborate too much on what we went yesterday, but in general we were talking about what happens at night when we sleep, and especially the danger that the soul, the nefesh, can be attacked, subject to attack by the chitzonim, by an external force, and chas v'shalom hurt it in a very profound way. And we started by saying that Rabbi Shimon says, oh, these poor people, that their eyes are blocked and their heart is also blocked, that they can't see what's going on at night. And just to remind the viewers online before we start that a lot of these Zohar classes don't go on YouTube. We usually load 1 or 2 classes on YouTube, and then the rest go on the Atzmut website. So many people email us, where's part 3, where's part 4? So just that you know that a lot of these Zohar classes from the series, they don't go on YouTube, they go on the Atzmut website. What I suggest is always in the description of the videos to look for the link to the exact place where the class goes on, unless you just sign up and log into the Atzmut website, and then you go to the section of Zohar, and you'll find exactly the classes. But underneath the video, wherever it goes, on YouTube or whatever social media, underneath in the description will be the link for all the rest of the series of the videos, and that way you don't have to look for all of them. They're also organized by the order, by the parasha, and numbered, because I noticed that many people send messages asking, where's part 11? So they're not going to be on YouTube. There's a reason why we don't load everything on YouTube. It's all secured on the website, on the Atzmut website. Either go to the website, register for free, and look under the category of Zohar. You'll see all the Zohar classes. Or in the description of the video, there'll be a direct link and instructions on how to find the entire series, and that way you can enjoy all the rest of the classes and not wonder why the rest are not going up, or thinking that only 3 or 4 videos went up, rather when there's much more videos that go up. So I just wanted to say that before we start the class. And Be'ezrat Hashem, all the rest of the classes, they're all going to be loaded on atzmut.com. Just follow always the links in the description of the videos. But with that said, let's continue where we left off. Again, page 222b, Reish Kaf Bet Amud Bet. The line starts with the word umazikin. So it says usually, what happens, not usually, when at night, when the ruach leaves the body, what happens is mistaleket, the ruach leaves, v'hanefesh nisteret toch halev. The nefesh goes inside the heart. Then what happens? Umazikin de mitgabrin al kol evarim de gufa. These mezikim, these evil forces, they come to harm and the body. They overpower, mitgabrim, on all the limbs of the body. And what do? They harm the body. And they, what does it look like? Kemei tofana de gavru ale chamesh esre ama. First he's saying that these evil forces, they harm the body. That's first of all. But it says the word umitgabrin. Mitgabrin, in Hebrew, it means lehidgaber, to overpower. Now, overpower, he says, you know what it looks like? It looks like the water at the time of the flood overpowered the land. Because what happened? There was land, and then the water came up and up and up and up, and nobody was able to stop that water. It's not that it came down and boom, it covered the land. It was a process. Can you imagine the people at the time of the flood? They know, based on Noach, that there's going to be a flood. Of course, they didn't believe him. They called him a conspiracy theory. They said, you and your nonsense. What are you smoking there, Noach? So at night, after you're done banging on the ark. But they all thought he's a conspiracy theory. But then, when the rain started, it was raining for a few weeks, And then came the time of the flood, and the rain went higher and higher and higher. It says even that Noach wasn't 100% in emunah that it's really going to happen. But just imagine that when the rain started becoming stronger, what does it say about the water? Vayidgabru hamayim. Now, that can be translated that the waters became stronger and stronger. But also at some point, Yidgabru hamayim, mean the water overpowered, they went above the land. And then at some point, there wasn't any more land. So it says here, these mazikin, these evil forces, they overpower the body. And what does it look like? Like the water of the flood, that they went above the land. How much? Specifically 15 amah above all the mountains. So amah is about 50 centimeters. So they went 15 amah, make a quick calculation, the water went above the mountain line, which means if it doesn't say in the Torah, but let's say we go to the Everest, or one of the highest, the Rockies. Imagine the water went above that 15 amah, which means that everything in the land was so deep in the water, it wasn't like on the surface. So he says, what does it look like? Like the water that went over the mountains, specifically 15 amah. Now what's the point? Here he says, betam adavar. What's the explanation behind it? Why is he saying that when these angels, it's not really an angel, it's more like an evil force that overpowers the body, it looks like the water in the flood? What's the connection between one and the other? Begin the istalak, yud came in gufa. What happens is that while a person sleeps, two letters of the name of Hashem, which is Yud and Hey, which are the secret of Chochmah and Bina. Chochmah and Bina is the Mochin, because the Sfirot are broken into two groups, Mochin and Midot. Mochin is Chochmah Bina Dat, or to some opinions, Keter Chochmah Bina, and the Midot is Chesed Gvura Tiferet, Netzach Hod Yesod Malchut. But the Mochin in the body are Chochmah and Bina. And when a person is asleep, the Mochin gets removed from the body. So we know as Chochmah and Bina being removed, but really what is removed? The Yud of Hashem and the Hey of Hashem. Why? Why is that happening, that when a person sleeps, the Yud and the Hey disappears? Ki Adam nivra b'tzelem Elokim. Because we were created, man was created in the image of God. Uve'et hashena, at the time when you sleep, two letters of Yud K Vav K, they leave the body. Mistalkim bet otiyot Yud K mishem Elokim. The letters Yud and Hey, they disappear. Now here he adds a little addition. The Yud and the Hey, not from Yud K, Vav K, disappear. Because we just said, B'tzelem Elokim nivra Adam. In the image of Elokim, not Yud K, Vav K. But Elokim also has a Yud and a Hey in it. Right? How do you write Elokim? Aleph, Lamed, then a Hey, then a Yud, then a Mem. So it's not the Yud K of Yud K Vav K. That cannot be removed, if not you die. But the Mochin, the intellectual part, is Yud K Vav K, Yud K. That is being removed. Why is that removed? B'tzelem Elokim nivra Adam, in the image of God, Hashem, a man is created. Now what happens when the Yud and the Hey disappears at night? You know what you're left with? Ve'ishtar Aleph Lamed Mem. You're left with Aleph Lamed Mem. You know, in Hebrew it says Elem. You know, Mata Be'elem. Are you shocked? You lose the Yud K, the Nishar Aleph Lamed Mem. What are these three letters? It's what's remaining from the name of Hashem Elokim. Hamoreh Shenishar Haguf. What is it showing to us? That the body is left Belo Re'iyah, Ushmiyah, Verecha, Vedibur. It's pointing out, it's showing to us that the body is left without vision, without hearing, without smelling, and without talking. Ilem. Ilem is a mute, a deaf person. Belo kochot shel elu achushim. So the power, yesterday we talked about the powers of the nefesh. Here, the person is losing these chushim. Chush is like a sense. Okay, we'll call it a sense for now. Yeah, but the person is losing these senses. Why? Ki beistalkut hamochin, when the intellectual part is removed, ne'esa ha'adam ilem. The person becomes like a mute, milishtamesh bechushav. he becomes more like, I would use the word paralyzed from using his senses. And now, what do you have senses for? To serve the Master of the universe. Why do you think Hashem gave you the sense of hearing? So you can listen to Torah and apply that. And the sense of speaking, that you can learn, speak the Torah and so forth. Veraza de Mila, and there's a hint, a secret hinted in what we're saying here. Where do we hear this hint here? Because, we're just now trying to explain that when the Yud K disappears, the person is left with Aleph Lamed Mem. Where can we find a hint, a secret, in order to elaborate on what we're saying? So there is a verse in the book of Tehillim, chapter 39, 3, Tehillim Lametet Gimel, and it says, Ne'elamti dumiya hechesheti mitov uchevi ne'ekar. This is a verse in Tehillim. The translation is, I made myself dumb in silence. That's what the verse says. So he says, you take this verse, what David HaMelech says, Ne'elamti dumiya, I made myself dumb in silence. Why dumiya? If you write the word dumiya, Dalet, Vav, Mem, Yud, Hey, this is otiyot, dom, stand still, Yud, Kei. Saying in other words, Shenishar rov dom, nishar dom, you stand completely still. You can't move. Chochma and Bina, the intellectual part, Chochma and Bina, which is Yud, Kei, Al ze ne'elamti. Because Yud K disappeared, I became still. Because what do you do when you sleep? You don't dance when you sleep. You dom, And we said the other day, what is it? Dom, attention. You stand, you don't move. V'al yadei ze, and because of that, ne'elamti, I became silence, dumb in silence. Saying in other words, nisharti elem. Nisharti, not moving, shocked. I remain, yeah. Now that's what happens. The mochin is besiluk, is siluka mochin. The mochin is removed from the body, and the person is just sitting there. There's no chushim, no senses. Uvahu zimna, and in that time, 15 ama gavru mazikin al gufa, and at this time, 15 amot, the mezikin, these evil forces, overpower the body. Why 15 amot? I understand the water went 15, amma is a foot. It's not really a foot because a foot is about 30 centimeters and amma is about 50 centimeters. So we're going to use the word amma. So I understand that the water in the flood went 50 amot above the water. There's a very long and interesting explanation why 15 amma above the water, above the mountaintops. But here it says that the mezikim, that these evil forces overpower the body 50 amma. Why? Because there are 15 levels of holiness when Yud and Hey of Elokim is in the body. So there are 15 levels of Tumah, of impurity. Now what happens is, you lose the Kedusha, you lose the holiness, Gavru alav mezikim. Then the other side of holiness will overpower. How? In 15 levels. Ve'inun kekisla leugya. And what do? They surround the body of the man or woman, same thing, ke'en telem, like some kind of a little fence. Or fence is not right, telem is more like a small wall. Because fence you can easily jump over, a fence can be like a net. Telem is like a little wall. Hamakifet ha'aruga. What do you do with that wall? When you have where you plant your vegetables, how would you call it? Not a garden. Vegetable patch. I was more thinking of more like a piece of land. A vegetable patch is in your backyard, but let's say like a field. So what happens is you want to protect the field from animals coming in and destroying it. So what do? You build a little wall, and boars, cows, whatever, they can't go through it, so they protect the land. But what specifically? The place that is called the aruga, that's a little lump where they plant the plants on. Why is he saying kisla leugya? Why is he saying that they come around the body like a little wall hovering around. How would you say aruga in English? It's how would you say the you know, when you have a field and then you have the lines.
Furrows.
How?
Furrows.
Furrows? Yeah, like the little lamp. So, and you plant on it, the furrows. Okay, so you live and learn. Okay. Furrows. Okay, so but what's the connection? And by the way, it doesn't necessarily explain it here. Maybe if we're lucky, we go a little bit later. It will elaborate on that. But why is the Zohar saying that these entities, these evil entities, surround the body like a little wall to protect the furrows? Okay, let's continue. Let's see what he says. Ukegavna de Noach, and exactly like Noach, shalach et hayona b'shlichute. We know that Noach, when he opened the ark, he looked around. The whole world was destroyed. It wasn't like the world that he remembered. Everything was completely destroyed. Can you imagine the whole world underwater, boiling hot water? So first he sent a crow. The crow made a sivuv dawin, you know, a little round, and whoop, says, no, I'm not going. So he sent the dove. So the same way that Noach sent the dove on a shlichut, on a mission, v'ayta ne'emenet b'shlichut. The dove didn't go like the crow. The crow was very jealous that he thought that Noach is sending him out so he can take his wife. Like as if Noach is interested in the wife of the crow. That's the nature of a crow. Very jealous. That's what Rashi says. Orev kina. So he came back, but the dove, he was trustworthy. So the same way that Noach sent the dove, of hachi shalach nishmata adam ruche b'shlichute. The same way, the soul in the human, in the person, sends the ruach, the spirit, on a mission, on a shlichut, on an emissary. Saying in other words, hanefesh nisheret betoch leva adam be'et shenato. The soul leaves the body, the spirit leaves the body, the ruach. So what happens? The nefesh stays in the body while the person is sleeping. He sholachat et haruach she'yaleh lemala litchadesh b'malchut. So the neshama is sending the ruach to the world above so it can get rejuvenated. That's why you go to sleep, you're tired. You wake up in the morning, you're not tired. Now that happens to only a few people. Most people, they go to sleep tired, they wake up tired. And why? Not because the mattress is not comfortable. Because the ruach didn't go to get rejuvenated. It had a stop, a detour on the way in some bar, and it had a few beers, and got into a fist fight, and all these destructive angels, these malachei Kabbalah, were playing with it at night. Ping pong, ping, kicking the ruach. Now it didn't get rejuvenated. So it comes back in the morning tired. Where do you see the proof to that? Look at a great rabbi, a great tzaddik, sleeps an hour, wakes up like $1 million. Half an hour, 2 hours. So it's not how long you sleep, it's where you go when you sleep. So the ruach has to go up to the sphere of malchut to get rejuvenated. To get like your phone that you plug at night. You won't, chas v'shalom, go to sleep without plugging your phone. That chas v'shalom is going to be on 3% when you wake up. You plug the phone, this is more important than a Kriyat Shema L'Amidah to some people. To plug the phone. So you have to plug the ruach too. Then the ruach gets rejuvenated specifically in the sphere of malchut. Uveginda, and because of that, tzarich barnash lefakda la b'matronita. The person has to take the ruach and to deposit it in the hand of the queen, which is the malchut. Hada udichtiv, as it says by David HaMelech, chapter 31 in Tehillim, verse 6, Beyadcha afkid ruchi. In your hand I entrust my spirit. Well, that's what you say right before you go to bed. So you're taking your spirit, the ruach, and you are depositing it in the sphere of malchut. Uma dahava asira begufa bechaylin de yetzer hara. Now what happens is the ruach is a prisoner in the body. How? By the soldiers of the yetzer hara. Shaya lo reshut lefatoto. The yetzer hara had permission to tempt the person. Ktiv When it says in the Torah, in the Tehillim, Be'adcha afkid ruchi, in your hand I will entrust my spirit, it says right after that, Padita oti, Yud Kei Vav Kei Kelemet. And the verse continues, you have redeemed me, Yud Kei Vav Kei, because you are God of truth. Saying in other words, Shelo timaser ruchi b'yadei malachei Kabbalah. I'm trusting you, Hashem, that you are going to guard my ruach, and it's not going to be given to distracting angels. Ela shetaleh litchadesh b'malchut. That it should go up to be rejuvenated in the sphere of malchut. So if you don't do the right tshuva before you go to bed, very high chance that your ruach will not get to the malchut. I made a joke, said that it took a detour and went to a bar. But there's a very good chance, because there's so many mezikim, so many of these distracting angels hovering in the universe, that the ruach can get captured by some of these angels. And like I told you, you can play ping pong or football with the nefesh, with the ruach, and kick it from side to side. Then, of course, the person is not sleeping well. And that, of course, will affect the person with nightmares and many other problems. Now, what happens when the person is lying on the bed? Uvezimna de'ihi chayevet. Now, what happens is that if the person has a lot of debt, now not debt to chase Manhattan, debt because having sins. This is called nefesh chayevet. I have sins. Now what happens is, mitkashrim ba'achitzoniyim. The nefesh becomes, the nefesh, the neshama, here it says neshama, but the chitzoniyim, these angels, can get attached, like I said yesterday, like a, not like a leech, but I was yesterday saying medusa, no, a jellyfish. You get stuck in it, so the chitzonim gets stuck to the neshama. As ma katuv berucho, what does it says? This is a verse in the book of Mishlei. Yad leyad lo yinake ra. From hand to hand, the evil will not be cleansed. Shlomo HaMelech says that when the nefesh is dirty with sins, then the evil will be attached to it. Saying in other words, De'azil miyad liyad, b'misharyan de'etzer hara, de'sharyan aleh, b'chovin dileh. Now what happens is that the soul goes from one hand to the other hand of these angels, of the Yetzer Hara, hashorim alav ba'avonot shelo, that they dwell on him, these angels, because of his sins. So you are given to the hands, these are the spiritual wardens, or the executors, or you call it however you want, and the nefesh, the soul, is being given to these angels. And why? Because you did sins, you created them. Saying in other words, shenimsar beyad melachei Kabbalah. You are being given to be held by these angels. The translation is destructive angels. They come to make problems. Kabbalah really is more to wound. How do you say, with a D or with a wound? Wound. Kabbalah means lechabel. Is when I come and now you saw in America all the riots. This is called lechabel. It's coming and breaking and destroying and burning down, and this is Kabbalah. And when the biblical term of Kabbalah is when you get a bruise to the body. It's called Kabbalah. So these angels kind of like bump into the neshama, hitting it. It's not a fun process, by the way. Now, when you are being given to these angels, וזרקין להם מאתר לאתר. So they take the soul, and they're throwing it from one place to the other. I said ping pong. You can say football, you can frisbee, call it however they want. But these angels throwing one place to another. The Zohar says, mimakom lemakom bekaf hakela. They take the soul, even when you're asleep, and they put the soul in some slingshot, and they're throwing it from one place to another. And this is not even a punishment, it's just because you did sins and didn't do tshuva for them. And that, when a person sees himself in a dream, in a different country, or in a different place, I mean, why do you think you dream of certain things? Because right now you're being thrown from one place to the other in the universe. So if you see yourself in your dream, it says b'medina acheret, like a different country, b'malcho achra, in a different domain, a different kingdom. V'lezimnin be'ashpa, and sometimes you see yourself in the garbage. Not physically in the garbage, but in the dream, you see yourself in all these weird places. I mean, now if you want me to get more in details, sometimes you see yourself in a dream naked. Ever happened to you that you dream that you're naked, you don't know where to hide yourself, and you're running from place to place? I'm sure it happens to everybody. Neshama is empty, embarrassing shamayim. It happened to everybody, by the way. It's not only you. You're not the only cuckoo one that has dreams that you're running naked and trying to find refuge. And how many times you dream horrible dreams, that you're in horrible situations, and you feel something is running after you, and you're panicking in the dream. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Yeah, you're all nodding, of course. And many others. You want me to go with more explanations? Here it just says, "B'medina acheret," in a different country. Meaning not in your local place. U'malchu achara, in a different domain. All these weird dreams. V'lezimnin be'ashpa. Sometimes you dream, he says like you dream that you're in a garbage can. You have all these weird dreams that you are very insulted and ran after and so forth. Why do you dream that? Because this is the place of the most impure klipot, that's where the ruach is being thrown there at night. But why? Kefum chovoy. This is according to how much sins you did. If you may have many sins, then your dreams at night will reveal to you exactly where you belong. And if you have very holy dreams, and that you sit and learn Torah and all these special things, then it shows you where the neshama is. Wake up in the morning and make a quick account. What you dreamed about? If you dreamt that you're in all these weird, horrible places, then your neshama is stuck in the klipa. And even if you have a beard or yarmulke peot and the whole 9 yards, doesn't mean anything. And if you dream at night of Torah, that you learn Torah, you dream of tzaddikim, chidushei Torah, all sorts of enlightenments in the Torah, so you know that your neshama is in a very good place. So for that, we have to take a small commentary by the Ramak. And he says as follows. This is by Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. V'zeh lashono. This is what he says. Hine adam michalomotav yakir et enyano. By your dreams, you can know exactly where you're holding. Ve'efo dvuka nafsho. And where your soul is attached to. Ki im cholem shenimtza bebate knesiyot. If you're dreaming that you are in a shul, uvatei midrashot, and in a yeshiva, v'osek b'torah, and you're dreaming that you're learning Torah, yada shenafsho dvuka b'kedusha. Then he knows that his nefesh is attached to kedusha, to holiness. If you're dreaming that you're in all sorts of horrible places, he says batei kisaot. Batei kisaot, by the way, it's like theaters, bars, restaurants, ve'ashpot, and in horrible places. And many people, they have dreams that are very rated R. All these extreme dreams. And some people enjoy them in their dreams. They finally get lucky in the dream. It only happens in the dream. But that's where you really know shenafsho dvuka b'chitzonim, that your nefesh is attached to disgusting places. V'ken katav Arizal, and the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria writes in the book called Etz Chaim, Sha'ar Memtet, gate 49, v'zeh lashano, that's what he writes. V'hine k'shayetzer hara gover ba'adam, when the yetzer hara overpowers the man, אז בלילה מוליך עמו את הנפש ואת היצר הטוב לקליפת נוגה. At night, he takes the nefesh and the yetzer הטוב and the good inclination and places it in klipat noga. ורואה בחלון, and he sees in the dream, תבן וקש. You would see straw and stray. Why? שהם klipat noga. That represents klipat noga, a medium. Not here and not here. This is a quick commentary by the Ari HaKadosh and the Ramak. That you can see by your dream more or less where you're spiritually holding. Now we're back to the Zohar. Ve'i hu zaka, but if you have the zchut, zaka means zakai, and zakai means that you are righteous. Klomar, im hu ola temima, if he is like a whole, a complete offering, shera'u la'alot be'ar Hashem, and you are deserved to go in the mountain of Hashem, you know what happens then? Kol misharian de Yetzer HaTov. All the camps of the Yetzer HaTov, Malach Michael, Malach Gabriel, Malach Raphael, and all the rest of the Malachim, is called the Machanot, the camps of the good angels, Shem Malachei HaKodesh. These are holy angels. You know what happens? Kulhu ufneihem vechanfeihem prudot lekabla ruche. all these angels come towards the soul with the open wings to accept the ruach. And they take the soul to a very high and exalted place where all the chayot HaKodesh, very high angels that are called the holy animals, hanosot et hakiseh, they're holding the chariot of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Hainu lechalot HaKadoshim, they're taking the nefesh to very high chambers. Shesham hem malachi HaKodesh, that's where they're dwelling, these holy angels. Suddenly you start dreaming of the Baba Sali. You see the Ben Ish Chai in your dream. You see the redemption. You get secrets of the Torah. And you're like, ah! And you remember a little bit in the morning. V'taman chazeh. And you know what he sees there? Kama chizyonot dimyonot v'marot denvuah. He starts seeing there chizyonot, visions, dimyonot, all sorts of, I don't want to say imaginary because it sounds negative, but dimayon is the physical vision, imagery of the spiritual world. Umarot nevuah, and visions of prophecy. Uveginda, and because of that, ukmu rabanan. And because of that, our sages have been brought down. This can be found in Tractate Brachot, page Nun Zayin, Amud Bet, 57b. And they said there, Dachalom echad mishishim binvuah. A dream is 60th of prophecy. So let's just conclude. Okay, I think what the next part I want to is we're going to connect it to tomorrow. Okay, next part we'll connect to tomorrow because it's two commentaries by the Arizal and the Ramak. But what we want to conclude here is that two things. If you're full of sins, and at night you didn't do tshuva, and your soul is in great debt, then once the soul gets jumped out of the body, then all these horrible entities that will come to take the soul, and like I said before, they will play football with the soul throughout the night. Then you're going to have horrible dreams, you're going to have nightmares, you're going to toss and turn and up and down and get up and get down and up and down and all sorts of bad things. And then you wake up in the morning sad, depressed, heavy, don't feel like getting up, needless to say, physically worn out, physically tired. You know exactly where the soul was at night. End of story. There's no other way of saying it. You can't blame it on the corona. It doesn't have to do with corona. It has to do with where your soul goes at night. You wake up in the morning like a lion, you know that at night your soul went to a good place. But if you are in a good place, zakah, you have zchut, then these angels, these exalted angels, chayot HaKodesh, will come and greet the ruach and take you on a tour in the world above. And then you're going to see in your dreams gorgeous places, prophecies, visions, other angels, other tzaddikim. Suddenly you'll dream about other tzaddikim, and you will get all these chidushei Torah, all these new angles of the Torah. You will be sitting and learning Torah at night. This is a big deal. And then, of course, in the morning, you know where you were, how you woke up in the morning. So I want to keep the next part. It's an addition and a commentary of the Arizal and the Ramak. But we'll keep it for tomorrow. It will be kind of an introduction to the next place. But they're just adding on what we said now. What you want to take from that is as follows. First of all, don't do sins. Easier said than done. But if you already must sin, then at least be smart and do tshuva before you go to bed. And sit on your bed for 5 minutes. I should say bed. Sit on a couch. It's not good to sit on the bed. Rather sit outside in the living room or whatever when you're dressed and say Kriyat Shema Lamita. Read a few chapters of Torah. I told you already in one of the previous classes to read the 4 first chapters of the book of Tehillim. And I explained already why. If you remember, it has 310 words corresponding to the word keri. Keri is semen or sperm that has the same numerical value, 310. And I gave a whole explanation on that. No need to elaborate right now. I told you before, also read some verses from the Zohar. Add some Torah. Read some Torah before you go to bed. Don't go on Facebook and look at nonsense. And needless to say that when you go look at nonsense on Facebook, that's very quickly going to take you to other places. This is not how you want to end your day. If you must go on the internet, then go watch a lecture of a good rabbi. Or 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Better to read from a book. Don't go on the computer, because that's the bait of the Yetzer Hara. He's going to tell you, go catch a quick, good class before you go to bed. But very quickly, the class will turn into something nonsense. Take a book, read something, even if you're tired. Then do Kriyat Shema L'Mitah, and pray, and do tshuva. And when you hopefully did the right tshuva, then you clean your nefesh. You don't have all these sins. You know why? It says in the Talmud, Tractate Yomah, if you do tshuva, then what does the tshuva do? If it was a positive mitzvah that you didn't do, Omed sham ad shenislach lo, you stand until it's forgiven to you. If it's a negative mitzvah, then the tshuva tola puts the sin on hold, and Yom Kippur mechaper, and you have to wait for Yom Kippur, and Yom Kippur will wash it off. But you put the sin on hold. It's like you got an extension to your trial. So there's no din right now. Because the tshuva is more powerful to take the din, the judgment, and to put it on hold. They leave it there, let's see what happens. So you go up to Shamayim and you don't have sins. Now if this repeats itself over and over, that you have bad sleeps, bad nightmares, then obviously you need to do tshuva. Take care of it and you'll see that you'll sleep better. You'll sleep less hours. You'll have much better sleep. You're not going to be tossing and turning all the time and waking up from weird dreams. Or, dreams exactly what the Ramak says. You can know more or less more where you're holding by the dreams. And again, this is pretty clear. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you go to sleep with the right preparation. So I've been emphasizing and teaching this for years. Kriyat Shema L'Mitah, Kriyat Shema L'Mitah. You don't even know what a gem you have. Because when you're saying Kriyat Shema L'Mitah, not only that you're doing tshuva, not only that you're cleaning your soul, you're also guarding the body. הנה מיתתו של שלמה, 60 גיבורים סביב לה, מגיבורי ישראל, כולם אחוזי חרב, בין לומדי מלחמה, איש חרבו על יחו, מפחד בלילות. You're surrounding the bed with 60 angels, with cherev, with a sword in their hand. They're protecting the bed. Nothing can come and harm you. I told you already, I don't have a actual source to that. But many years ago, I heard from a very great rabbi that every word that comes out of his mouth is gold. And he said, when you prepare that little bucket with the water next to the bed, like I told you a thousand times to do, that you wake up in the morning, you can wash your hands right away. He says this is like an angel standing with a huge sword next to your bed, doesn't let anything come close to your bed. Just by having this little bucket next to the bed. Because you're already thinking for the next day, you're preparing. He says, this is like an angel for you. So you want to go to sleep with Kriyat Shema L'Mitah, let go of everything, let go of any anger. Somebody annoyed you, let it go. Somebody owes you money, forgive to him. Look what the Arizal says before we go to sleep. I'm hereby forgiving any person that angered me. Ben begufi, ben bemamoni, ben begufi, ben beruchi, by my body, my money, ben begilgul zeh, ben begilgul acher. It doesn't matter if it's in this life or a previous life. Let everything go. Don't go to sleep with dinim. Don't go to sleep angry at your wife. Don't go to sleep angry at your kids. Don't go to sleep angry at your boss. Don't go to sleep angry, period. Let it all go. Any anger, jealousy, animosity, revenge, whatever it is, go to sleep, do tshuva. Some people do a meditation before they go to sleep. Say Kriyat Shema L'Mitah, let it all go. That way you go to sleep clean. Make the room holy. Don't put junk in the room. Some people put TVs, junk in. Don't have it in your room. If you must do it, don't keep it in your room. I told you already a million times, don't go to sleep with your phone. The phone is to mine it. Put an alarm clock. Better. So most people wake up for their alarm clock is their phone. The first thing that you touch in the morning is a klipa. Why would you want to touch the phone? And then, of course, one eye is open, you're already checking your WhatsApp. If somebody at 3:42 a.m. sent you a message, I have to know. It's very important. So how you go to sleep is how you're going to be sleeping. You go to sleep in the right way, then your soul will be treated at night to get a nice grand tour, a royal tour in Hechalot Kedusha, in holy chambers. Needless to say, you're going to wake up like a mensch, like a normal human being, not wake up tired, depressed. Most people wake up depressed. They take the blanket, they go like this, they don't want to wake up in the morning. It's a miracle that people go out of bed even. It's not because that you're a bad person, because at night you were involved with the wrong crowd. So make sure you refine yourself, make sure you do the right tshuva before you go to bed, because how you go to bed, that's how you're going to wake up. You go to bed the right way, invest that 10-15 minutes, you're going to enjoy your sleep, you're going to benefit from it, you're going to get rejuvenated. That's what's most important, to be rejuvenated. If you're not getting rejuvenated at night, what's going to happen the next day? You're going to be tired, so of course you wake up tired, you don't pray the right way, you are agitated, annoyed, jumpy, grouchy. Who are all these words? Who needs this headache? So Hashem gave us an unbelievable remedy. Go to sleep with Kriyat Shema Lamita, do tshuva, refine yourself, elevate yourself, clean your neshama with as much as you can. The best advice I can give you is read a few lines of Zohar every night, even if you don't understand the Aramaic, it doesn't matter. Just read it with your words. Don't go like that. Read it with your words, even if you don't understand. You don't have to understand, you just need to read the letters. You don't know read, so start learning. Because the Zohar is like the best cleaning system to the neshama. The Arik Zal says read 5 pages a day of Zohar, it will lemarek et nefesh. Lemarek is deep cleaning. There's cleaning on the surface, and then there's deep cleaning. The Arizal says for any Baal Tshuva that used to do Pgam Abrit, to read 5 pages a day of Zohar, cleans the nefesh. This is deep cleaning. This is going to the, how do you call the shinanit, the one who cleans the teeth every couple months? No, dentist. How? Oral hygienist. So every day you brush your teeth, but every 3 months or 6 months you go to the oral hygienist and they clean the teeth all the way to the root. The Ari HaKadosh says, Shishar HaKavanot, 5 pages a day of Zohar. You clean the neshama from all the junk. So read. Excuse me? Doesn't matter. No, the Ari says any time in the day, make sure you gores. You don't have to learn it, just to read 5 pages. Doesn't matter what time. I'm telling you from the little that I know, you read it before you go to sleep. It's like a massage to the soul. Cleans the soul. Now don't say, oh, in the morning I read Patach Eliyahu, and after Shacharit I read Tikkun Memched. No. Don't take from the power. Read 5 pages. It doesn't take long, especially if you're fluent in Aramaic or Hebrew. Then zoom through it. It will take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You break it out. Do 2 pages in the morning, 2 pages in the afternoon, 1 page at night. But the Ari HaKadosh says clear out. Read 5 pages a day. This is memareket nefesh. Cleans the nefesh from all the junk. Try that. I guarantee to you that you're going to feel a completely different person. You go to sleep at night, you wake up in the morning, ready to conquer the world. Your thoughts are straight, your perception, your understanding is sharp, everything is sharp, you are much more quicker with prepared for the attack. The Yetzer Hara comes from all sorts of different ways. You are much more focused on the battle. You are more prepared to the fight, like a warrior. So it's very important because at night you can lose all your power. You give all your kedusha to the Sitra Acha. Chas v'shalom, lo aleinu v'lo alechem. Kadosh Baruch Hu should bless us all with the intelligence and the awareness how to prepare to go to sleep at night. And then when I say with all my might, uveyadcha afkid ruchi, don't say it in the speed of an F-16. That's how people say Kriyat Shema. Say it with the right intention. Hashem, I'm giving you my soul. I'm begging you. Please don't let the klipa to control it. Say it with all your heart. Be trembling in fear when you're saying that, because you're now leaving the house on a vacation and you're hiring now a security guard to take care of the door. That's exactly what happens. So I urge anyone to prepare the right way before you go to sleep with Tehillim, first 4 chapters, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet, a little bit of Zohar, say Kriyat Shema, prepare the bucket next to your bed, sleep with a tzitzit if you're a man. There's nothing wrong with sleeping a tzitzit. Lehefech has a very strong shmirah, very strong guarding at you while you're sleeping at night. Make sure there's no to'ava and tum'ah in the room, no impurity, no junk in the room, because you're sleeping in the room. If chas v'shalom you have to have this junk, at least not in the bedroom, in the place where your neshama is there at night. B'ezrat Hashem should bless us all to be guarded at night, and more important that we wake up in the morning ka'ari hamitgaber al oivav, like a lion overcoming his enemy, to serve our Father in heaven. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, גיל תורה וידיע.